What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Codename Scream. I am that horror guy.
And I'm Mel.
And please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications for all things horror. We're back at you with some more sci-fi related horror. This time we're diving into a Stephen King story, though, which I'm very excited about. What are we doing today?
Dreamcatcher. It was released March 21st, 2003, directed by Lawrence Kasdan. Screenplay by William Goldman and Lawrence Kasdan. Obviously based on the book, Stephen King book, Dreamcatcher, which he's read. I have not, but Stephen King's always great. So, produced by Lawrence Kasdan, Charles Oken, and Mark Kasdan, who maybe they're brothers?
Who knows? The fact that you went 3 for 3 in the sci-fi.
And you know what? The next one is going to kill me. The next, mark my words, you're watching this now, the next video we do, the names are going to kill me.
Oh, I'm so excited. We're talking to the future again.
I know. It's very sci-fi with us.
Yeah.
Budget, box office.
Yeah. Well, we got some finances here. So, budget was $68 million. All right. Pretty large budget. Unfortunately, the box office did not see a return that was nice in the sense of $75.7 million.
At least it made its budget back.
Yeah, but... And if you were to adjust that for 2021 inflation, you're at 111.7. So, not looking too pretty on the money side of things, sadly.
Well, the review side of things aren't too pretty.
Nope.
Critic score of 28%, audience score of 35%.
Just a lot of pain.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what would hurt worse, the emotional side of everyone hating your movie or the financial side of yikes.
Or I could throw in a third one.
Okay.
You know, you got the financial side, everyone hating your movie, or would you rather have an alien coming out of your ass?
Probably the alien.
Yeah, seems a little less painful, right?
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead of myself here, talking a little bit about the synopsis. This is going to be a very brief one for you guys. This book was long. This movie's got a long running time. There's a lot to cram into here. There's a lot. One you need to pay attention to, for sure. So I will provide a link in the description, as always, below for you guys to check this out at home, or go pick up a copy if you can find one. And if I find you a link, it will also be there. We'll see what happens, right? Depends on what I'm looking for. But we've got a group of friends that go out on their annual skiing trip, if you would, out into a cabin in the winter.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Nothing can go wrong. Nothing ever goes wrong in a horror movie in a cabin.
Nope.
Especially in the winter, right?
Never.
No, this one is just an alien invasion. Where one of their own is, unfortunately, the bad guy throughout the whole thing.
Yep.
Mr. Gray. And, we watched some pretty painful scenes of aliens coming out of asses. Yep. Literally.
Yep.
Like, we weren't kidding in the beginning of that. That was pretty intense.
It's pooping aliens.
Yeah, it's a brutal poop. I still feel bad with the toothpicks. You know, just trying to grab for one toothpick and he dies while doing that. That was sad. It bothered me. And one of them has a filthy habit of chewing on toothpicks. And unfortunately dies in the process. Well, one of the friends also has telepathy and can talk to Mr. Gray. That's weird in itself. Turns out one of our other friends in the group, Duddits, unfortunately who has cancer and he's sick, but turns out he is of another alien race that is not fond of the Mr. Gray alien race, and they ensue into a quick battle at the end, then turn into a giant ash that resembles a Dreamcatcher. Oh, because, that's the title of the movie and the book. And
normal.
Yeah, totally normal, right? That's where kind of we left off there. Like I said, very brief, to the point. I encourage everyone to either read the book and then watch the movie, just because there's so much more in the book, as there always is with Stephen King. We talked about this right before we started shooting. Either got a 10-mile long book and a ton left out, or way too much.
Yeah.
And then the movie's 4 hours long.
Yep.
But what did you think of this one?
I actually liked it. I'm gonna just disagree with the Rotten Tomatoes score. There's a lot in this movie that just does not make sense. But I don't know if it's because I saw this when I was way too young. I saw this when I was like 12 or 13. And I liked it then. And so I think some of me liking it may have just sentimental, value to it because I saw it so young and enjoyed it then. But I think that the problem comes from the book being so long and there being so much in the book and them kind of compressing, the contents of the book for time purposes. Yeah. But overall I enjoyed the movie. There were plot holes galore in this movie, but it almost didn't bother me because the plot was so fresh compared to a lot of other sci-fi movies, especially, you had Alien pioneering it back in 1979. This is 2003. You've had a whole ton of Alien movies come out, a lot of it was just the same thing over and over and over. And this was just so fresh and new at the time that it came out. Like, where else were you seeing aliens come out of asses other than this movie? But there was a lot of just things that didn't make sense in this movie. That's my only gripe with it, but I will give it like a 51%, leaning toward liking it. I would definitely watch this, over and over again, which I have over the years. And it's just like, there's not a whole lot of Stephen King movies I don't like. Mm-hmm. I can't even think of one off the top of my head, I don't think.
Salem's Lot, Rob Lowe.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, there we go. Exactly. But I did like it. I enjoyed, I thought the acting in this movie was really, really good. Despite what they were acting out was ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. The acting was good in this movie. The one gripe that I have is the fact that his name was Mr. Gray. Like, could you be any more obvious and, like, on the nose, like, alien, gray, like, bleh. But, I mean, other than that, like, and the plot holes, like, I'm not going to complain about those too much. Sometimes I do, and I'm like, I hate this because it doesn't make sense. And context,
yeah, you're all about your context and whatnot.
But it just, this movie was just so fun that it didn't matter. So, that's what I thought.
All right. And we didn't need context?
I didn't need context for this.
Amazing. But I love this movie.
Good.
This is actually my favorite Stephen King novel on top of that.
Good.
Read the book plenty of times. I can understand why you felt there were a lot of plot holes. Because there are. There is so much of the plot that should have been in there that wasn't. There was a lot of key points. A lot of the things that aren't there should have been there.
Which is a good reason to read the book first before you watch the movie.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't too upset about it, because I already knew what was going on. So it was just like, okay, I was like, but if you were going into it not having read the book, I can totally understand why I would just feel like there was all over the place, why there isn't any context.
Sure.
Which I feel like is a lot with these Stephen King movies, is unless you've read the book, there is a lot missing from all of them. That I've come to notice, but I've also read the majority of the books of the movies that are done, so they don't seem like they're missing much.
Sure.
Because I always feel like they're shot with the intent that all these things are going on behind the scenes, type of thing.
Yep.
But love the acting in this movie.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, Jason Lee is amazing, as always. It was weird to see him in not a comedic role.
Sure.
Yeah. Thomas Jane was being Thomas Jane. He's always just kind of typecast at times, and I felt like in this, but he was one of the first Stephen King movies he was in, because he also did The Mist, which I feel like it was a better performance in The Mist from him than it was in this one. And the aliens were a little underwhelming for my liking,
definitely,
especially how they're described in the book, and when you get to see them, it was a little sad for me. I'll give you the Mr. Gray thing. It's pretty lame. But you kind of need to go read the book. That's going to be one of those I'm just going to be a huge advocate of and just push this. Yeah. You have to read the book. The movie is not bad, though, by any means. No. It's a phenomenal film.
Yeah, I don't know what everyone's problem is.
No. Compared to some of these Stephen King adaptations we've gotten, the Rob Lowe Salem's Lot, the televised Shining, where he's using a big hammer, yes. And though that was more true to the book, with the hammer, it still sucked.
What is your favorite Stephen King movie? I know mine.
All right, what's yours?
Thinner.
Thinner?
I love Thinner. I love that movie so much.
Thinner is awesome. I would have to say 1408.
Okay.
I was like, it's going to be a toss between 1408 or part 1 of it with the new series. But 1408.
Yep.
By far. And that's up in my top 10 of all time, which I did way back when.
Yeah.
When I started this. Go check that out. I actually run it down with like 4 other films
I wasn't here yet.
She wasn't here yet. It was her idea to actually cram them all at the end.
Yeah.
So she was there, but not there.
Yes.
So, well, we totally skimmed over fun facts.
Okay, let's
What do
go
we
with
got?
those. This one's awesome. Stephen King sold the rights to the movie for $1.
Pretty noble.
Why not?
Pretty noble dude.
Well, he's got so much money.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't need that. The movie started filming in 2002. It was filmed in Prince George, British Columbia for 7 weeks, and then in Vancouver for 10 weeks. So kind of like a longer filming process than like some we've talked about before. And Vancouver just seems like the hub for movie shooting. Like, so many movies are shot in Vancouver. So many shows and movies. Like, I always see, like, I'll watch a TV show and I'll be like, where was this shot? It's beautiful. And I look, Vancouver.
Yep.
Always Vancouver.
Always.
Thomas Jane starred in the movie because his mom told him to.
Aw.
She's a huge Stephen King fan. I mean, if my mom told me to star in a movie, I probably would.
Oh, yeah.
Because mom's
especially a Stephen King one.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't he? Like, he probably would have if his mom,
oh, yeah.
you know, not told him to. But the main characters are from Derry, Maine, which is a small town featured in It and seen throughout many Stephen King storylines. I love that Stephen King does this. I love that, like, you know, you've got Castle Rock and you've got Derry, Maine, and they're all just, like, always, like, going in and out of books.
Yep.
You know, even if, like, something isn't centered, like, before we were filming this, we were talking about Stephen King, and 11/22/63 is one of my favorite Stephen King books. The character goes to Derry, and, like, you know, you see, like, Derry, Maine pop up throughout.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, ton of his storylines, and it's just awesome.
Well, he created a universe before creating a universe was really a thing.
Right, definitely, yeah. And it's, like, when you're reading something that you think is totally separate from this, and all of a sudden they're like, and then he went on a trip to Derry, and it's like, oh... Say hi to Pennywise. Last fun fact is not such a fun one. The film's failure hurt Lawrence Kasdan's career, and he admitted it prevented him from getting 2 films produced later. Which sucks, because this movie is not bad.
No.
Why are people saying this is a bad movie?
It's not.
If you think this is a bad movie, please tell us why you think this is a bad movie, because we don't get it.
We don't understand it, and prepare to get on a soapbox.
Yeah.
So we are going to be on ours, ready to go.
Yeah.
This is going to be like an alien situation again, where we're going to be, let's do it, let's talk about this.
Yeah, because they're, like, I don't understand. And, like, when you Google it, it's, like, the most uneducated reviews are the ones saying, these aliens were dumb. And then that's, like, the whole review. And it's like, that doesn't mean this was a bad movie.
No.
There's a lot more going on than the dumb-looking aliens. We admit the aliens looked kind of dumb.
Yep.
Like, it's a thing that happened. That doesn't mean the movie is bad.
Exactly.
So tell us why the movie was bad.
Yep. So sound off in the comments below. Message us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email us. And really, let's talk about this one, because there's clearly a division line somewhere in here.
And we're confused about it.
And we are totally lost as to why. And do yourself a favor, go pick up a book, and crack it open, and read it. It's good for you. And good for the little noggin here.
And they smell good.
And they smell real good, especially a Stephen King book. But we've got a couple more left in the sci-fi horror series, so make sure to stay tuned. You guys won't want to miss the rest of these. And with that being said, scare you later, YouTube.